Have you ever wondered why so many people, who have such a deep connection with God, end up distancing themselves from churches? This may seem like a paradox. How can those who feel the divine presence the most distance themselves from a place traditionally seen as sacred? This is a topic that many prefer to avoid, but it carries a significant truth, and understanding this reason can completely transform your spiritual vision. Within the walls of a church, many encounter an existential doubt. Am I really where I should be? Have you ever felt this way? And if, after performing all the rituals and following the religious norms, something inside you was still yearning for a deeper connection with the divine? If you have ever experienced this, know that this feeling is not isolated, but rather a shared experience by many. The search for a more authentic connection with God is a journey that goes beyond temples and human traditions. It's as if the words of a leader or religious acts are not enough to fill the void that resides in your soul. This happens because, many times, what you are seeking cannot be found in rituals and ceremonies. It is something deeper, something that transcends the physical space of a church. This video was made especially for you, who feels this emptiness, this yearning for something beyond. You who seek a connection with God that is not limited by the walls of an institution. What we are going to reveal here may be the answer you were looking for, a key to understanding the true nature of your divine purpose and how you can reconnect with the Creator in a more genuine way. You are here because there is something in your soul that responds to this call. This is the moment to realize your true potential. You are on the right path, and everything you need is within your reach. When you like this video, you are not just supporting a message, but you are helping to spread an energy that will touch many other people. If you have already felt a deep connection with what was said, comment, "I am open to awakening." This is a sign that you are ready to receive everything that lies ahead. Stay alert to what comes next, as what will be revealed could be the key to your next step. You're about to experience something transformative. Many chosen ones go through this dilemma of feeling out of place in their religious community. They know that something greater is calling them, something that goes beyond the rituals and formality of the temple. This does not mean abandoning faith, but rather recognizing that there is a deeper calling that demands something beyond the conventional. Let's explore how God, in His infinite wisdom, often guides the chosen ones beyond the limits of temples and human traditions. In this video, you will see that this feeling of disconnection has deep roots, and that by understanding this spiritual movement, you can find a more true and fulfilling path. Stay with us until the end, as what will be revealed may bring vital clarity to your spiritual journey. Have you ever wondered why so many individuals deeply connected with God feel the need to distance themselves from churches and established religious norms? Although these places have historically been seen as pillars of faith, for the chosen ones, they often serve more as a tool than a final destination. God often calls those who have a deep connection to follow a path that challenges conformity with traditional institutions, revealing a more personal and transcendental truth. The example of John the Baptist is striking in this context. He distanced himself from traditional religious structures to fulfill his mission in the desert, without seeking validation from the authorities of the time. His calling was direct, without the intermediaries or necessary approvals from religious authorities. John's mission was not centered on following rules established by humans, but on acting according to the direction God gave him, something that echoes the reality of many chosen ones today. Another significant example is that of Martin Luther, who questioned the practices of the Catholic Church when he realized that many teachings were being distorted for the benefit of earthly interests. Luther was not just a man of faith, he was a man of courage, who felt the call to break with the structures of power and return to the pure core of spirituality. These examples demonstrate a common characteristic among the chosen ones. Often, the true call of God does not require conformity with institutions or what is considered normal. Throughout history, great spiritual leaders have challenged the norms, following divine guidance and breaking with the religious conventions of their time. Even Jesus at many moments distanced himself from the crowds and the synagogues, seeking moments of introspection and direct communion with the Father. This reflects that the connection with God goes beyond temples and human traditions. The true spiritual experience, as Jesus taught, is lived in the heart of each individual, and often religious structures can divert the focus from what is truly important, a pure and direct relationship with the divine. Therefore, the journey of the chosen is not about rejecting faith, but about seeking something deeper and more authentic. True spirituality is that which transcends the barriers created by institutions and finds its strength in a direct connection with God. It's as if something within you automatically rejects what does not align with your divine essence. This unique spiritual sensitivity allows you to see hypocrisies that go unnoticed by most. While many are content with the superficial, you feel an inner calling to go beyond appearances and seek the authentic truth. It is not uncommon for the chosen ones to feel that their deepest questions about life, purpose, and the universe are ignored or even seen as inconvenient. Have you ever felt frustrated upon realizing that ready-made answers and repetitive speeches do not fill the spiritual void you carry? This happens because, for the chosen ones, there is an intrinsic desire for deeper revelations, something that goes beyond the superficiality of traditional religion. The search for this genuine connection can be solitary, but it is also liberating as it brings you closer to a unique spiritual experience. True peace comes when you realize that you are not alone in this search, that there are others with the same spiritual longing. This recognition lifts a weight off your shoulders, for the feeling of disconnection with religious communities or dissatisfaction with traditional practices is not a sign of failure, but of your spiritual sensitivity being fully active. You are not rejecting God. You are rejecting what does not reflect your divine essence. Although this sensitivity is a precious gift, it can also be a challenge. It makes you notice inconsistencies in people's behaviors and even in the very religious structures themselves. When you see leaders preaching about love but practicing judgment, or communities that talk about unity but exclude those who are different, your spirit becomes unsettled. For the chosen ones, going with the flow is simply not an option. Something within you cries out for authenticity, and this keen perception, often considered a difficulty, is actually a gift from God. This gift of discernment explains why you may feel that you don't fit into any church or religious group. Your mission is deeper and goes beyond human traditions. God gave you the ability to discern what is genuine and what is merely appearance. If your religious experiences so far have not been enough to nourish your soul, do not blame yourself. This is a clear sign that God is calling you to something deeper, a direct and unique connection with Him. Many chosen ones find this spiritual depth outside of temples, in solitary moments of meditation, prayer, or even in contact with nature. It is in these moments that powerful revelations occur, much more transformative than years spent trapped in empty rituals. If you feel spiritually lonely, even in the midst of a crowd, this is a clear sign that you are chosen. Those who are chosen often face the weight of external judgments, especially when their attitudes and choices challenge established norms. The spiritual sensitivity they possess makes them more aware of when the intentions of others are not pure, especially within religious institutions. They clearly perceive when leaders are more concerned with prestige and personal power than with true service to God. This deep discernment creates an internal dilemma, as their essence cries out for humility, truth, and integrity. When they see that religious practices are being used for selfish purposes or to reinforce the authority of a system, their spirit becomes restless. For these chosen ones, following a path of conformity to conventional norms is simply not an option. They are called to seek something truer, more genuine, and more aligned with what God desires for their lives. This process of distancing oneself from conventional religious structures should not be interpreted as a rejection of faith, but as a response to a deeper calling that demands the freedom to seek a direct communion with the divine, free from any human imposition. This journey can be solitary, but it is at the same time liberating. It allows the chosen ones to discover the true essence of spirituality, a spirituality that transcends the physical boundaries of a temple. Many chosen ones have spiritual gifts that, unfortunately, are not well understood by more traditional religious communities. These gifts, such as sharp intuition, perception of spiritual dimensions, or even a type of mystical connection with the invisible, can feel suffocated or repressed when there is pressure to conform to rigid norms. For many, the churches that should be places of spiritual growth end up becoming spaces that limit the freedom to be who they truly are. Instead of finding inspiration, many feel that their souls are being suffocated within these institutions. This feeling of disconnection pushes them out of the temples in search of a more authentic and profound experience with God, something that traditional environments can no longer provide. They begin to realize that true spiritual transformation does not happen only in rituals and ceremonies, but in everyday experiences, in moments of introspection and silent communion with the divine. True faith is not limited to a space or an established routine, but permeates everyday life, finding expression in the small things, in the compassionate gaze of a stranger, in the care for nature, in the sincerity of prayers, in the silence of dawn. When the chosen ones begin to realize this, their spiritual journey gains a new dimension, a faith that goes beyond the walls of any church, but is reflected in every daily action and in the genuine love they spread throughout the world. If everything you have heard so far touches your soul, it is because your spiritual awakening is closer than you think. Liking and subscribing now means affirming to the universe that you are ready for this profound change. This is your moment, and what comes next could be the key to the next chapter of your life. The chosen ones, upon finding a true spiritual community, experience a profound transformation and a unique connection with the divine. However, there are environments that, instead of nurturing, end up being spiritually toxic. Churches that deviate from the divine purpose and are controlling based on fear or focused on personal interests end up being harmful, especially for those with a heightened spiritual sensitivity. These places create barriers that hinder a genuine connection with God, leading to spiritual weariness, discouragement, and, in many cases, a complete distancing from any institutional faith. It is essential to be attentive to the signs that a religious environment is not contributing to your spiritual growth. The disconnection of a church from the divine purpose can block your progress and bring confusion to your journey. How, then, can one know if a church is aligned with God's plans? Spiritual discernment is fundamental for the chosen ones. A church truly aligned with the divine will be one that places God at the absolute center and encourages its members to develop a personal, true, and profound relationship with Him. A genuine spiritual community also respects the individuality of each person, understanding that the path to God is unique for each soul. Pay attention to the signs. Churches that preach hope, love, and true transformation are the most faithful to the divine essence. However, when a religious environment focuses on rigid dogmas, judgments, or excessive control, it can drive the chosen away from their true mission. Many share stories of frustration, describing how they felt discouraged or lost their purpose in churches that should be a spiritual refuge, but in practice became oppressive. Practices such as emotional manipulation, disproportionate financial pressures, or exclusion for not conforming to imposed standards are painful, but they also serve as valuable lessons. They show that not all religious environments are suitable for the spiritual journey of each chosen one. However, on the other hand, there are inspiring testimonies of people who found in authentic churches the soil necessary for their spiritual flourishing. These truly welcoming churches help the chosen ones activate their spiritual gifts and strengthen their connection with God. When a church genuinely reflects the divine purpose, it becomes a springboard for the chosen one to fulfill their mission, and not a spiritual prison. Finding an appropriate spiritual community requires patience and discernment. For the chosen ones, it is crucial to seek an environment that celebrates freedom, authenticity, and mutual respect. Trust your intuition and your spiritual perception. Churches can be powerful tools to strengthen faith, but they should never replace the direct relationship with God. Remember, the true essence of spirituality goes beyond the walls of any temple. For the chosen ones, the distancing from religious institutions often represents a divine invitation to embark on a deeper and more authentic journey. This distancing is not a sign of rebellion or weakness, but a proof of spiritual maturity. It is a quest for a more direct connection with God, where the dependence on intermediaries and traditional rituals is replaced by the personal and transformative experience of divine truth engraved in each person's heart. This period of withdrawal, known as the spiritual desert, is a crucial phase for the growth of any chosen one. This spiritual desert is a moment of intense solitude, where all external distractions calm down, allowing only the divine presence to manifest. During this time, the chosen one is confronted with their own limitations, doubts, and fears, which, although difficult, are essential for the development of a more robust and independent faith. This stage, painful in its essence, serves to remove limiting beliefs and reveal the true divine essence that has always been within each person, waiting to be recognized. In the silence of the desert, the voice of God becomes clearer, transforming solitude into a space of revelation and spiritual illumination. The spiritual desert challenges the chosen ones to develop essential virtues, such as patience, resilience, and a heightened spiritual sensitivity. These virtues are indispensable for listening to the divine voice without the distractions of the outside world. It is in this journey of uncertainties that the chosen one learns to fully trust in God, developing a faith that goes beyond the walls of any religious institution. This process of introspection also allows the chosen one to align their purpose, strengthening the divine mission they carry in their heart, enabling a genuine reconnection with their spiritual essence. One of the most effective practices during this period is the use of a spiritual journal. Recording thoughts, emotions, and daily experiences helps to organize the inner journey, enabling the identification of patterns of spiritual growth. This journal becomes a valuable map which can be revisited in moments of doubt, serving as an anchor in times of uncertainty. Moreover, nature offers a powerful channel for divine connection. The tranquility found in walking through forests, listening to the sound of the wind, or watching a sunset allows the chosen ones to feel a deep peace and a unity with the Creator. The simplicity of nature often offers answers to spiritual questions that previously seemed unsolvable. Fasting is also a relevant practice in the spiritual desert. By giving up food, distractions, or habits, the chosen one disciplines body and mind, creating space for a deeper connection with God. This process not only provides moments of spiritual clarity, but also strengthens the ability to discern the divine voice amidst the noise of the world. Many chosen ones report that they found God in unexpected ways, whether in a book, in a song, or even in dreams. These experiences reveal that the temporary distancing from the church should not be seen as a loss, but as a necessary stage for a spiritual rebirth. During this period, the chosen one reconnects with their divine mission and discovers that every difficulty and loneliness has a greater purpose. This process of withdrawal teaches an essential lesson. The true connection with God does not depend on rituals or a physical space, but on a sincere heart willing to listen to His voice. Upon understanding this, the chosen one frees themselves from external limitations and finds the spiritual freedom that enables them to fully live their divine mission. Facing a period of withdrawal is not a sign of spiritual weakness, but a call to something much greater. It's as if an inner voice, silent and constant, invites the chosen one to seek a deeper purpose, beyond the established structures and rituals. When someone emerges from this spiritual desert, they carry with them a renewed faith and a clearer vision of their role in God's work. This transformation, contrary to what many think, does not distance the chosen one from God, but strengthens their direct connection with the Creator. Many return to churches with transformed hearts, ready to contribute authentically. Others, however, realize that their mission goes beyond the walls of the temple. They feel the call to take the divine message to places where God is little known or felt. This journey of self-discovery, often solitary, leads the chosen ones to share their experiences with others, showing that they are not alone. These stories of overcoming and reconnection with God become beacons for those still facing spiritual darkness, creating a network of support and hope among those seeking answers. Although this journey is often misunderstood, it brings the chosen one even closer to God, leading them to a deeper understanding of faith. In his journey, he becomes a beacon of light in a world that needs compassion, truth, and hope. The mission of the chosen is to bring the divine presence to all places, illuminating hearts and bringing hope where there is despair. This calling requires courage, but it also brings eternal rewards. Being chosen is being a powerful instrument in God's hands, a bridge between heaven and earth. It is the acceptance of this calling that prepares the chosen one to transform lives, guiding others to a more true and profound faith. You have come this far because there is something within you that recognizes this truth. It's not a coincidence. It's the universe guiding you. By subscribing, you affirm to the universe that you are ready to align with your spiritual mission. If this video made sense to you, like and share it with those who are also ready for this awakening. Each of your actions has the power to expand the light and transform lives around you. And finally, leave a comment saying what touched your heart the most. or share a personal story. Your story might be exactly what someone needs to take a new step in their own journey.